Number 4, this one we're going to be adding some terms with fractions in them. It looks more complicated than it really is, but the thing I like about fractions is that they're just whole numbers, just one on top of the other. I much rather fractions than decimals, and I'll show you why here in a minute. We can deal with these fractions pretty easily. So we got 5/3 x plus 5 equals 1/3 plus 1/3 x. Alright, so when you think about what causes fractions to happen, or what operation is division, this number is being divided by 3. And so whatever on the bottom, anytime you have equality, you can undo this by doing the opposite. So instead of dividing by 3, we're going to multiply by 3. And since it's the same number, if you look at the bottom, all throughout the problem, the only number on the bottom is 3. We're going to multiply both sides by 3, and that will help us get rid of the fraction. So here's what's going on. The left side of the equal sign, we're going to multiply by 3. Why are we multiplying by 3? Because we're dividing by 3. We want to get rid of it and make this an easier problem. So whatever's on the bottom, you just multiply by that number or numbers. So times 3. So here's how that works. You can think of two things. 3 is going to, I know I said multiply, but you can always reduce first. So since I'm multiplying by 3, you can think about this as 3 over 1. Okay, so you multiply top times top, bottom times bottom, and then reduce. The way I like to think about it is just reduce, but I know a lot of people need to see what's going on. So at the end of the day, I just want you to know this. The 3 is going to cancel out the 3. You're going to be left with 5x. And then you also have to distribute, multiply 3 times this guy, which you can think about over 1. 3 times 5 is 15. But here's how it works. 3 times 5 gives me 15. 1 times 3 gives me 3. And then I have my x. Alright, and then look, 15 divided by 3 is 5. So at the end of the day, what we did is that 3 canceled out the 3 on the bottom. Then over here, multiply 3 times 5, that's just 15. Divided by 1 is still 15. Any number divided by 1 is itself. So we get 5x plus 15. See, the fractions are going away when we pick that number specifically because that's what's on the bottom. So over here, 3 times 1 is 3 on the top. Whenever you multiply, it only multiplies the top. It's not multiplying the top and the bottom. Remember, it's like 3 over 1. So multiply goes on the top. If I divide, it goes on the bottom. 3 times 1 is 3. Divided by 3, and 3 divided by 3 is 1. Any number divided by itself is 1. Same thing over here, 3 times 3. So the 3 on top, and then on the bottom we have a 3, and we have our x. 3 divided by 3 is just 1x, or we just say x. Alright, so again, I think about it as, okay, look, when I multiply 3 here, it just goes away, bam. I'm left with 5x. I just go from here, here. When I multiply by 3 here, it gives me 15. Multiply 3 here, it cancels out. Multiply 3 here, also cancels out. So I jump from here to here. But if you need to see that process, that's okay. Okay. Now we have this problem, combined like terms. So I want to move this x over. So understand this is 1x. Maybe it'd be good to write that here. Because a lot of people just want to subtract x and get rid of the x and have a 5, but that's not the way that works. Minus x, we're subtracting 1x, minus x. So 1 and 1 goes to 0. This is 1 here. So 5 minus 1 leaves us with 4 x's. Bring down the 15 equals 1. Alright, and then we subtract 15 because that's positive. Running out of space on my little piece of paper. 15 goes to 0. That brings down a 4x equals a negative 14. Alright, I'm going to come over here. 4x equals negative 14. We now divide by 4. Divide by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. Bring down the x. Now, this will not divide evenly. Do not convert it into a decimal unless you're told to do so. So if you look at the screen, it doesn't say. It says the solution set is. It just says simplify your answer. So I always prefer fractions. Both these numbers are even, so they're divisible by 2. So divide by 2 gives you a negative 7 on top. Divide by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So this is your answer in lowest terms. Now if it says give a decimal, then you give a decimal. Otherwise, fractions are more exact. And again, it's just a whole number on top of a whole number. It's better that way. So negative 7 divided by 2.